Mm. Say, yo, I'm ready. Let's just start it. I'm not gonna wait 5 minutes. I got stuff to do. The perfect time never comes. See, this video was inspired by one of the leads that I just had to recently reach out to. And one of the things that he said when I reached out and called him was, hey, can this wait? Bro, goodness gracious, somebody text me while I'm going live. And it's probably in this live call right now. What are you doing? Goodness. Anyways, I didn't lost my train of thought, man. I'm almost got to start this live over. So, anyways, I reached out to this lead, and the lead told me, "Hey, can we just wait until after the holiday because I'm super busy right now?" I said, "Sure thing. Here's the link. Da da da. To your discretion. Just call me and hit me up." It said, "Okay, sure." And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? That right there is where a lot of people are stuck in. They're stuck in, oh, it's too busy. Let me just put it off. Let me just start later. Life is always going to be busy. You're always going to have kids, stress, bills. You're going to have appointments that you have to make to you got overtime at work. It's always going to be a time where you're busy in life. So one of the things that comes in mind is maybe it just wasn't important enough to him. Maybe it wasn't urgent enough for him to change and elevate his life. And that happens. That happens, but always pushing things off to, oh, tomorrow. And then tomorrow doesn't come. Wednesday doesn't come. Friday doesn't come. And then you just procrastinate it for 2 months straight. That's how you fall behind in life. So anything that you guys want in life, you have to be on the ball and get to it now. You have to live in the now and not just push things off into the future because you never get to them. And that is a powerful thing. Just like I didn't want to do the reach outs. You think I wanted to reach out to more than over 50 people and recently? No, I didn't want to do all of that. But it was necessary and had to be done. And I didn't sit around and be like, oh, should I call this person? Should I not? Oh, I just call this person tomorrow. No, because you got to know yourself. If I would have did that, nothing would ever got accomplished. So that's just my one step. People always want to put things off. That's the number one point that I want to make. People always want to put stuff off because life never is not busy. So it's always an excuse, and it's no shot to the lead or whatever, because most likely he's not going to tap back in because he's already mentally defeated before he even started. So, point number two, your brain wants comfort. So, everybody wants to stay in this constant limbo, this gray area where it's just they're coasting. They just want the comfort of being able to pay their bills and get by in life. That's their comfort zone. That's that gray area. But what about the black and white things? What about the things that's going to get you to that next step? Because you're going to plateau and peak in life eventually if you're going to stay comfortable forever. You have to be in discomfort before you get to your ultimate goals. Discomfort on the other side of that is your goal and it's achievable. So a lot of people stay stuck and stagnant in their life because they're always in comfort. They always lay around and watch Love Island. They always lay around and do this and do that. What's going on, Vicky? How you doing? Yeah, they always lay around and do this and that. They're not being productive with their time. They're not being intentional with their time. This is going to scare some of you guys, but look at it almost like a scared straight program. So, do you guys know? Leave in the comments down below. Do you know how many hours we have in a year? It's simple math. Do 24 times 365. Essentially, that'd be 8,760 hours that we have in a year. And then if we sleep one third of our day away, that means that number almost comes down to about 5,000 hours that we have to deal with. And then you got necessities of life, which is going grocery shopping, putting gas in your car, commuting back and forth to work, errands, anything of that nature. You have that. That takes another chunk out of your life. Then you're 9 to 5. The average full-time employee works 40.4 hours every week. So we calculate all of that. And I've done actual percentages. And if you're in a committed relationship, and that relationships, committed relationships on average, they take an effort of probably 10 hours a week. Guess what percentage of free time, quote unquote free time that you actually have, percentage wise, out of that 8,760 hours that you have in the year? That cuts down to roughly 21%. And if you don't have a significant other and you're grinding, you're locked in, and you still toggling a 9 to 5, you really only have 24% of discretionary time. So this is pivotal, and a lot of people don't take note of this. So if we only, let's just round, when I told y'all what 21%, so let's just round to 20%. You only got 20% of discretionary time out of the year. That's not a lot to make quantum leaps. So take your time more serious because your brain loves comfort. The next point I want to make, every delay reinforces the habit. I forgot which guy this was. It's not coming to me right now, but one of the rules is don't miss twice. And what I mean by don't miss twice, if you say, hey, for example, today is Sunday, hey, I'm going to get to this thing today, and you don't get to it today, well, you better be sure you get to it Monday. If you don't get to it Monday, that becomes a habit within itself. That is why it's so crucial that you guys have to, and I mean, you have to get in the habit of attacking the objective right there and then. You put it off, you keep training your brain to procrastinate, procrastinate, procrastinate. And it's so hard to do the inverse and doing the things that you should be doing and the things that you know you should be doing. I think I got a couple people in so far. Like this video for me. Like this video for me. Need to get my engagement up. If any of these points don't make sense, just let me know. And people always say practice makes perfect. Well, practice can make perfect as far as developing bad habits. And you guys know what's objectively bad habits. I don't have to babysit you guys and tell you, hey, sitting playing video games 24/7 is a bad habit. It's a bad habit, especially if you're not aspiring to be a streamer or something. Like, what are you doing with your time? Be more intentional with your time. Your time is going to be your greatest asset, and managing it is going to be paramount to your success. And success is, of course, subjective. So, success to one person may be, hey, if I can make $10,000 a month, or if I can have my dream body or get remotely close to my dream body, if I can eat healthier, if I can keep my calories down, if I can do this, do that, if I can read more books, if I can do more sightseeing, if I can do more traveling and exploring the world, whatever your in your life that you deem as success, that's the thing that you have to strive for. And the only way to go about that is being intentional with your time. Let me see. What was my next point? I love these lives because they be so raw in the moment. Another point that I wanted to touch on is small actions beat perfect timing. So we talking a lot about timing in this live stream right now, but small actions beats perfect timing. A lot of people think that if they don't do it perfect, 100% perfect, then it's not worth attempting at all. No, I want y'all to start having this mentality of building the plane on the way down. It's rarely it's going to ever be a perfect way to do this or that. They done a study. I can't remember. I had to pull it up. From what year was this from? I know it's in the 21st century for sure, but they did this study, I think, with college students. What what program were they in? They were like in a photography program was it videography or photography? I think photography, but essentially the person that pumped out the most volume and didn't care about it being perfect, they actually came to like the best photo possible. But the person that did, let's say, a quarter of the volume, they never had a great photo. They didn't have a good one. So this is why it's so important to just do things, take action on things. So I want to say my meta point is to say that in life, life is always going to give you an excuse on why not to do. I could have gave myself an excuse. I already had it scheduled in advance. I was going to get on here at 1 p.m. EST time. I could have made an excuse and be like, man, my head ain't shaving smooth enough. I could have said, oh man, I gotta line up my mustache before I get on live. I could have said, man, I gotta get the topic that I want to talk about perfectly together. No, it don't work like that. Build the plane on the way down. Action is better than no action. Remember that. See if I got any questions. And I can't remember if it was 2 lives ago, but I was telling you guys about losing and winning. And that's a mindset that's doomed to failure when you always think of things as winning and losing. Don't get me wrong. I understand why you want to have a winner's mentality, but what they don't tell you about a winner's mentality is the best mentality to have is always trying. If you always give effort and you're always willing to try and you're always willing to attempt, you can never be a loser. It's a saying. They say a quarter never a quit. Wait, how'd it go? A quarter never win, a quarter never win, and a winner never quit, or a winner never lose. Man, this is just off the top of the dome. I can't remember where I heard it from. A quitter never win, a loser never quit. A winner never quit, and a winner never lose, or something like that. So that'd be the whole thing. Uh, Going on, Raj, for me, I feel like it's fear that causes me to make excuses and not take action. I get in my head until I just don't follow through. Okay. Yeah, that causes me to excuse. But that's the thing. You know how you was probably scared the first time that you had to, present a poem in front of somebody, or you had to give some type of speech or give some type of announcement, how terrifying that felt, but you just did it anyways. You have to have that same type of aggressiveness with anything that you want to accomplish in life. Anything. Because we do a lot of self-sabotage and saying, man, if I'm not doing it perfect, I'm not doing it justice. And that's not true. That's not all the way true whatsoever. Y'all Chappelle, what's going on? How you doing on this beautiful Sunday? Yeah, Raj, I don't know when we got onto this live or whatever, but I broke down how much time that we actually have in a year. If you caught that, drop a one if you caught that, Raj. Yash Pell, what's happening with you, man? Doing all right? I'm doing great. Oh, you didn't hear that part? Okay, just rewind back on the replay or whatnot. Let me wrap up. I think I had one more point. One more point while you guys are procrastinating. And you guessed it, because you're not over at Operator Reset, where we get you together over at Operator Network. Join my free school community right now. I'm accepting guys left and right, and we'll get you together. We can start off with a free call and we can dial in exactly what do you need in your life to move the needle for you. the number one priority in your life. A lot of people is sitting on edge. They 50-50. They too much in the gray area. They're not aggressive enough about what they want to achieve and what they seek. What do you seek? You seeking greatness. And greatness is not going to be the easiest thing to achieve. Hey, appreciate it. Appreciate it. I try, but absolutely. Same to you, Yash. If you didn't listen to what I said, probably in the first 5 minutes, 7 minutes of this video, I recommend you once I'm off of here, just watch the replay. I was talking about how much time that we actually have in a year. And I give you a sneak peek of that. It's 8,760 hours that we have in a year. And if me and you both know, on average, they say we supposed to sleep for 8 hours a day. So we know fractions and we know math. One third of the day is 8 out of 24, 24 hours in a day. That's one third. So that's 33%. So we got to take 33% out of that 8,760 hours. And whatever the math come out to, we probably are dealing with roughly 5,000 hours after the fact. Then another percentage is when we have necessities of life, necessity of life, running errands, groceries, shopping, maintenance on the car, anything that's a necessity for you to for you to live every day-to-day life, commuting back and forth to work. We have a percentage on that. Committed relationships. The average committed relationship is about 10 dedicated hours per weekend in committed relationships on average. So it's a percentage of that. And the percentage that you're left with when you have your own free discretionary time is roughly 24%. Well, no, not 24%. If you're in a committed relationship, it drops down to 21%. And then it's another percentage which are 9 to 5. The average full-time employee works 40.4 hours a week. So this is paramount to understand this because you look at time differently. So on average, roughly, we only have 20% out of 8,076 hours in a year to be productive and move the needle for ourselves. So that's my spiel. Hope you guys appreciate this. Like this video. Y'all know what it is. Don't be stuck and done forever. Let's learn and